That's a big hello from our church, Celebration of Hope, to all of you at Otterbein.
In the next few minutes, we want to give you all an inside look into our life and ministry here in San Pedro de la Paz, Concepcion, Chile. Concepcion, a city of about 1 million people, is the second largest metropolitan area in the country of Chile. Downtown, you'll find some old buildings, but not very many because of all of the earthquakes here. The area that we live in is called San Pedro de la Paz and is a nice village with different types of housing in many different parts of the town. It's common in Chile to live very close with all of your neighbors. And because it is a maritime country, there are very many fishing villages and other towns along the seacoast. Not everyone lives in what we would consider appropriate housing. There is a history of mining in our area. Along with that, wood and fisheries are the major income producers in Chile. Have you ever seen anyone make bread in a horse trough? This is something that we ran across in one of the fishing villages that really intrigued us. There's also another common way of making bread in mud ovens. These are located about 100 yards off the beach in a small town and are actually communal ovens where the people come to make their bread together. Barbecue or asado is a very common food in Chile. As well, we're famous for our sausages here called longanizas. Some of the best beef in the world is produced in Chile. But as well, we are a country of seafood, as everywhere in the country is no more than about 4 hours from the ocean. And so every day, fresh seafood is available no matter where you are. Along with those foods, we also enjoy completos, the hot dog of the country, and churrascos, a small sandwich about as big as a dinner plate. But don't think that all we eat is meat and seafood. We're able to buy lots of fresh produce in the local ferias or street markets. And as well, there are some very tempting desserts here in Chile. As you watch this video, you'll probably think that all we do is eat and go on vacation. But I've often told people that Chile is a country much like the United States, with all of the variety, only in a much smaller package. Here you can find the driest desert in the world, which you'll see some pictures of here in a minute. But also you can find penguins and sea lions, glaciers, icebergs, and the jumping off point for Antarctica. Chile's borders are the rugged Pacific coastline on the west and the amazing snow-covered Andes Mountains on the east. One thing that might surprise you is that there are over 90 active volcanoes in Chile, and one of them is about 1.5 to 2 hours ride from our house. While you enjoy more scenery, let us tell you a little bit more about Celebration of Hope, our church here. We meet every week, Wednesday nights for Bible study, Sunday mornings for church services, and regularly for other things throughout the week, including service with a local nonprofit known as Movimiento Agape. We are finding rich relationship in things like twice weekly English classes. We're not exactly teachers, but we do help people become conversational and improve the English that they maybe already have been learning. As well, Lori conducts 2 monthly ladies' nights, and I try to have at least 1 men's night every month. Along with that, there's hardly a day that goes by that we're not entertaining someone in our home for once or a light evening meal that is in place of supper here, or for things like playing Yahtzee or just enjoying each other's company together. We have found out that even without our prompting, many people in the church are inviting each other over for times of fellowship together as well. For instance, a couple might enjoy inviting one of the young singles over for lunch, and we've heard that many times they're enjoying talking about the things that were taught on Wednesday night or preached on Sunday morning. We mentioned that Chile is home to the driest desert in the world, the Atacama Desert. And each morning at 9:38, I pray a prayer for workers to come to the harvest, as Jesus taught in Matthew chapter 9, verse 38. The harvest is great, but the workers are few. So pray to the Lord who is in charge of the harvest. Ask him to send more workers into his fields. Something that jumped out at me about that as I prayed that here and in the home of the driest desert in the world, that praise the Lord, we're not operating in a desert. He tells us that the harvest is great. It's like a tree so loaded with apples that they're ready to break the branches. That's where we operate. And so we want to tell you a little bit more about the church in detail. You see, we're a home church, even though sometimes we get invited to work with children or to go out on service projects or to preach in established churches. We basically meet at home. We started as a very small group almost 2 years ago now and have grown each and every time that we gather together. Maybe not in numbers, but certainly in depth of relationship with each other and with the Lord. I'm not boasting. I'm boasting in the Lord when I say that we are experiencing the Acts church. We read in chapter 2, beginning at verse 42, that all the believers devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship and to sharing in meals, including the Lord's Supper, and to prayer. This is exactly what Celebration of Hope is doing. We're experiencing each other and experiencing in the Lord in a way that what I call living out life together. And we may not be growing in number daily, but as I say, we are certainly growing in our depth of relationship with the Lord and each other and our understanding of Him and His plans for the kingdom. And Otterbein, you are here with us. These things that are happening are partly due to your love and devotion to us and your financial support. And so thank you. Thank you for being a part of what God is doing here in San Pedro de la Paz.
Don't know if I'll make it back home. I'm just